quiet of the night, when the cold winds blow, there's a truth in the dark where the secrets go. Every whisper, every crime, unraveled one clue at a time. What's hiding in the past? What's lurking down below? Only the shadows know.
Have you ever heard a story so strange, so unsettling, that it sticks with you for years? Today, we're re-diving into one of history's greatest maritime mysteries, the baffling case of the Mary Celeste. This isn't just a ghost story. It's a real-life enigma that has stumped historians, sailors, and investigators for over 150 years. What happened to the 10 souls aboard this ship? Let's set sail and uncover the facts. Our story begins on a cold November day in 1872. The Mary Celeste, a sturdy two-masted brigantine, departed from New York City, bound for Genoa, Italy. On board was a cargo of 1,701 barrels of raw American alcohol, intended for fortifying Italian wines. The ship was captained by the highly respected Benjamin Spooner Briggs, a man known for his skill and integrity. He wasn't alone. Accompanying him were his wife, Sarah, their 2-year-old daughter, Sophia, and a hand-picked crew of 7 experienced sailors. By all accounts, it was a standard voyage, with a competent crew and a capable captain. Nothing seemed out of the ordinary. Fast forward about a month to December 4th, 1872. The crew of another ship, the Dei Grazia, spotted a vessel adrift in the Atlantic, roughly halfway between the Azores and the coast of Portugal. The ship was sailing erratically, its sails slightly damaged, almost like a wounded bird struggling against the wind. As they drew closer, they recognized the ship. It was the Mary Celeste. They hailed it again and again, but there was no response. An eerie silence hung over the waves. The captain of the Dei Grazia, David Morehouse, knew Captain Briggs personally and was immediately concerned. He sent a boarding party to investigate. What they found was a scene straight out of a chilling novel. The Mary Celeste was completely, utterly deserted. There was no sign of Captain Briggs, his family, or any of the crew. It was as if they had vanished into thin air. The ship itself was in surprisingly good condition. It was wet, with over 3 feet of water in the hold, but it was still perfectly seaworthy. The cargo of alcohol was almost entirely intact, ruling out a simple mutiny for profit. Personal belongings were still in the crew's quarters, money and valuables left untouched. On the captain's desk, the ship's logbook was found. Its last entry was dated November 25th, 10 days earlier. It recorded the ship's position near the Azores and mentioned no trouble, no panic, no distress whatsoever. It just stopped. The scene painted a confusing picture. A partially eaten breakfast was found in the mess hall. Sarah Briggs's sewing machine had a piece of clothing still under the needle, and toys were scattered in her cabin. It looked like the occupants had been in the middle of their daily routines when they suddenly disappeared. The ship's only lifeboat was missing. This detail is crucial. It suggests the crew and passengers abandoned the ship intentionally. But why? Why would a seasoned captain like Briggs order everyone into a small, fragile lifeboat in the middle of the vast, unforgiving Atlantic, leaving a perfectly sound vessel behind? The mystery deepened when the Mary Celeste was towed to Gibraltar and a court of inquiry was held. The initial theories were wild. The first and most sensational theory was piracy. But this was quickly dismissed. There were no signs of a struggle, and the valuable cargo and personal items were still there. Pirates would have surely plundered the ship. Then came the theory of mutiny. Perhaps the crew had murdered the Briggs family and fled in the lifeboat. The story goes that maybe they had gotten into the alcohol cargo. But the barrels were accounted for, and Briggs was known to run a dry ship. Besides, the crew had excellent reputations. This theory didn't quite fit the peaceful, undisturbed state of the cabin. So, what other possibilities are there? Over the years, countless theories have been proposed, ranging from the plausible to the outright fantastical. Some suggested an attack by a giant squid or a sea monster. Others whispered of alien abduction, a paranormal event that snatched the crew from the deck. While these make for great fiction, there's no evidence to support them. Let's look at some more scientific explanations. One popular theory involves the cargo itself. the 1701 barrels of raw alcohol were volatile. It's possible that some of the barrels leaked, creating a buildup of flammable vapor in the hold. Fearing an imminent explosion, Captain Briggs might have ordered a temporary evacuation. The idea would be to lower the lifeboat, tie it to the ship with a long towline, and wait at a safe distance for the danger to pass. This theory is compelling. In fact, when the cargo was unloaded in Genoa, 9 of the barrels were found to be empty. These were made of red oak, which is more porous than the white oak used for the other barrels. It's conceivable that vapor leaked from these 9 barrels. An unexpected rumbling from the hold, or a small, contained vapor explosion that blew off the main hatch cover, which was indeed found on the deck, could have been enough to cause a panic. If this happened, the crew would have scrambled into the lifeboat, perhaps taking the ship's chronometer and navigation documents with them, which were also missing. They would have tethered the lifeboat to the Mary Celeste, but then a sudden storm could have snapped the towline, or a strong wind could have pushed the much larger ship away faster than they could row, leaving them stranded and hopelessly lost at sea. It's a tragic, but logical, sequence of events. Another modern theory suggests a seaquake, an underwater earthquake that could have churned up the sea and damaged the ship's chronometer, while also sloshing water into the hold. Fearing the ship was taking on water faster than it was, and with his navigation tools potentially broken, Briggs may have made the calculated but ultimately fatal decision to abandon ship. There's also the waterspout theory. A powerful waterspout could have drenched the ship, filling the hold with water and washing the crew overboard. However, this doesn't fully explain the missing lifeboat or the orderly state of the cabins below deck. For every theory, there seems to be a counter-argument, a piece of the puzzle that just doesn't fit. The missing lifeboat points to a deliberate evacuation, but the condition of the ship suggests there was no immediate, catastrophic danger. The last log entry gave no hint of trouble. It's this contradiction that lies at the heart of the Mary Celeste's enduring mystery. The fate of the 10 people aboard remains unknown. No bodies were ever recovered. No trace of the lifeboat was ever found. They simply sailed into history, leaving behind a perfectly preserved, empty vessel as their silent tombstone. The Mary Celeste herself was eventually repaired and sailed under new owners for several more years before being deliberately wrecked in 1885 in an insurance fraud scheme. The story of the Mary Celeste has become more than just a historical event. It's a legend, a cautionary tale of the sea's power and its secrets. It has inspired countless books, documentaries, and even a short story by Sir Arthur Conan Doyle, which added its own fictional embellishments and cemented the ship's place in popular culture. So, what do you think happened? Was it a freak accident involving the cargo? A sudden, violent turn in the weather? Or something else entirely? The truth, it seems, was lost to the waves, with Captain Briggs, his family, and his crew. Their story serves as a haunting reminder that even in our modern world of technology and information, some mysteries are destined to remain unsolved, drifting forever on the vast, lonely ocean. Thanks for joining me on this journey into one of history's greatest unsolved mysteries. If you have your own theory about the Mary Celeste, drop it in the comments below. I'd love to read what you think. And if you enjoyed this dive into the unknown, don't forget to like this video and subscribe for more tales from the strange side of history. See you next time.
In the quiet of the night, when the cold winds blow, there's a truth in the dark where the secrets go. Every whisper, every crime, unraveled one clue at a time. What's hiding in the quiet of the night when the cold winds blow? There's a truth in the dark where the secrets go. Every whisper, every crime, unraveled one clue at a time. What's hiding in the past? What's lurking down below? Only the shadows know. In the quiet of the night, when the cold winds blow, there's a truth in the dark where the secrets go. Every whisper, every crime, unraveled one clue at a time. What's hiding in the past? What's lurking down below? Only the shadows.